So on my 14th birthday, I had a trial lesson at Leicester Airport. Flew in a little Cessna 152. We went up and I took off. Amazing feeling. Wow. It was fantastic. I remember it like it was yesterday. And it was at that moment I just knew I wanted to be a pilot. I didn't care how long it would take, how much it was going to cost. I just thought, no, I'm going to become a pilot. I want it badly enough. I'm going to go out there and do it. It was then, a couple of years later, when I had to apply for a medical. Sad news. I got word that I was mildly colourblind, which was a real kick in the teeth. I kind of knew that I might suffer from kind of mild colourblindness, but I'd been pushing it off. I'd been saying, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. I'll get through this. I'm sure it's some sort of mistake. There's no problem here. But there was a big problem. I was gutted when I found out I could be a pilot. Just thinking about how serious this was for me, because at the end of the day, it was all I wanted to do for the last sort of 5 years previous. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I really don't. I think there are more serious problems out there. So what are we doing? We're here to find out why I can't be a pilot. I can fly a plane, I can see pretty well, and there's always going to be another pilot with me. I just want to get some answers, really. So let's go out there and let's go get some answers.
I got my pilot's license in 1988, therefore that's 27 years. I have a Class 2 medical which entitles me to fly light aircraft, and the only restriction I have on it is, as you see, I wear spectacles, and I have to carry a spare set. For commercial pilots and flying at night, for instance, it's crucially important because you need to be able to differentiate, for instance, red from green, which is port from starboard when you're seeing lights. But for the average recreational pilot who only flies in good weather in daytime, it's not so important. If it's a commercial pilot and he's doing it for a living, then obviously the paths can be more difficult. But if he's just, like many of us, a guy with a passion for flying, I would say to them, don't give up at the first hurdle. It is possible. It's surprising how possible it is for many people, not just with colour blindness, but with physical difficulties to fly. Flying isn't that difficult. So yes, go for it.
So I'm just on the Colourblind Awareness website, and it's run by a lady called Catherine. Catherine's very kindly agreed to have an interview with us. So we're just finding out where she lives. So it's a little drive. Will probably only take us about 25 minutes, half an hour. So we can head over there now and see what she has to say about colourblindness and flying. So we should be able to get some really interesting answers here from her. So we'll just get everything organised and we'll head over there. Let's go.
I'm Catherine Albany Ward, and I set up Colourblind Awareness in 2009 after I discovered that my then 7-year-old son was colourblind, and I also discovered there was absolutely no information on the internet for people who are colourblind. So I decided I was going to have to do something about it. People see colour because they have rods and cones in their eyes that detect light, and cones detect colour. And there are 3 different types of cone. One type detects blue, one type detects green, and one type detects red light. Red and green deficiencies where either those red and green cones are not working properly or they're not working at all. Colour blindness is, for the most part, inherited. So if they inherit a faulty X chromosome for colour blindness, they will become colourblind. In order for a female to be colourblind, she has to inherit colour blindness from her mother and from her father. That means that in general terms, it's 1 in 12 men, but only 1 in 200 women. But you can also acquire colour blindness from other causes. Some diseases have colour vision deficiencies as a side effect, and some drugs and medications can give colour vision deficiencies as a side effect as well. But colour blindness can affect whatever job you do. It's just more of an issue in businesses which are more reliant on colour. So a train driver has to be able to see the difference between red and green clearly with normal colour vision. You might be able to say, oh well, I can see a slight difference, but that's not going to be good enough for safety purposes. So there are lots of colourblind web designers, but it's not so critical that they don't know exactly what colours they're working with, and there's also ways of working around things like not being able to know for sure what colour something is when you're designing something. You can check with software. There are different glasses that have been invented, and the one that's really hit the press lately is by a company called Enchroma. You have to have a partially functioning green cone and a partially functioning red cone in order for those glasses to work. So if you've got severe form of colour blindness, one of your cones types doesn't work at all, so those glasses can't help. Whilst they have a use, they also are not a cure, and they don't let colourblind people see the same things as people with normal colour vision. Cure is coming in the form of squirrel monkeys. I don't know if you know about this. They've done experiments on squirrel monkeys where they've injected genetic material into the eyes of squirrel monkeys, and over a period of about 3 months, their cells in their eyes take on board this genetic material, and then they are able to distinguish colours. So that is coming. It's not available in humans yet, but in America they're going through the licensing to start testing in humans because there's huge demand.
Morning guys. So we just got back from Catherine's house and talking about colour blindness. It's been really interesting to get some answers from her at the interview. We've had some fantastic conversations with people. We've had a couple of really good interviews, got an understanding of what colour blindness is, and also I hope I might be able to be a pilot one day in the future. The door is certainly still open. It's actually looking a little bit more promising now. Catherine also went on to say that they were trialling monkeys to try and find a genetic cure for colour blindness, and it's in the early stages at the moment, but hopefully soon, in the not too distant future, they'll be going on to human trials. It would be fantastic to see a cure, and fantastic for someone like me to be able to get into the seat of a commercial airliner and do what I want. If that happens, then I'll be absolutely chuffed, and this documentary will hopefully mean something, and that we will actually have answered a big question